Hello, I'm Courtney, what's up, and welcome to Booktalk. Today I'm going to be discussing The Battle of the Labyrinth by Riordan. This is the fourth book in the Percy Jackson in the Olympian series, and I finished it yesterday, and y'all, I was so shook. This book messed me up and I was just feeling all the emotions. But this book was really good the second time around. I just kind of hate the fact that it took me a really long time to read because I had my wisdom teeth removed last week, so that's why I haven't really been active. I kind of disappeared off the earth because I was suffering, and I think I'm near the end of my suffering. It kind of hurts to talk, but I needed to film this book talk because I got to express my feelings about this book. But I overall loved this book, obviously, because it's a Riordan book, and I don't hate Riordan books because they're all great. But if you haven't read this book yet and you do not want to be spoiled, I will leave right now because I'm about to go into some spoilers, so bye not spoilerly people! Okay, so the Battle of the Labyrinth. Where do I even begin? Because I feel like right when I opened up this book, everything just went downhill. Like, honestly, not a lot of good stuff happened in this book. Let's talk about the good things first, since there's a minimum. I swear, like, seriously, so much bad stuff happened in this book, and I was like, what the heck? The first good thing we got in this book was obviously Percy. Oh my gosh, there was all the Percy in this book. Let's not think about the jealousy right now. Let's talk about the good Percy first, because Percy and Annabeth finally kissed in this book and I was living. You know, when they kissed, it happened earlier than I expected. Like, it happened 200 pages into the book, and I was like, wait a minute, but there's still like over 100 pages to go. Like, what else is going to happen? And then a bunch of crazy stuff happened and I wasn't ready for it. But I loved all the Percy and Annabeth we got in this book. It was so good. But then it got all dramatic and there was jealousy because of Rachel and Luke, and then I was hating everyone because then Annabeth and Percy were just being weird and I hated it. Everything was going so well for Percy and Annabeth because they were gonna go on that date, even though Percy didn't think it was a date, but I was totally like Sally being like, it's a date. And I was so excited, but then there Annabeth was, and then Percy came out and found her, and Annabeth was like, hey, and I was like, oh, Percival's reunion, oh my gosh, yes. But then Rachel then jumped out the window. I think one of the things I hated while reading this book was the fact that I love Rachel in Heroes of Olympus and Trials of Paul. Like, she is great, but being back in this universe is seriously making me hate her again, especially near the end when you can see the Percy and Rachel tension, and I was like, no, I really do like Rachel, but I couldn't help but be like, okay, but this girl can go choke though, because every time she tried to flirt with Percy, I hate it, especially at the end when they're departing and they have that awkward goodbye, and it was flirting. Okay, it was totally flirting. I'm glad she helped us out, because if it weren't for her, then we probably would have died. Let's be real here. But at the same time, I'm just like, Rachel, can't you just go back to painting though? Another good thing to come out of this book was, surprisingly, when Percy went to Calypso's island. I was really dreading reading that scene, because, you know, I didn't want to read it. I didn't want to go there. I mean, I just did it. But when he got there though, and Calypso was being all nice, and they were walking through her gardens and planting seeds, like, it was so relaxing. It was like the calm before the storm, and I actually loved it. Calypso wasn't as bad as I thought she was. Like, I thought she was, I don't know why I thought she was gonna be bad. I don't know why I thought that. But she was actually a genuine and nice human being, and I really liked her. And she didn't even kiss him at the end. Like, she kissed him on the forehead, but I don't know why I thought they kissed on the lips, but they did it, and I was like, what the heck? And then another good thing that happened, which I feel like this may be the last good thing that happened, and it's also kind of a sad thing too, but Grover finding Pan, that was so nice. And for some reason I thought that Grover found Pan at the end of this book, but he didn't. It happened like 60 pages before the book ended, and I just was so happy for him when they saw Pan, and Pan told that story and gave advice to everyone except Nico, because you know Nico's a ghost king. But I was just really happy for Grover then, but then Pan died. That's when I started feeling bad for Grover, because I was like, you know, him and the rest of his kind have come so far. They've sacrificed so much to find this god because they believe in him so much. And Grover is the one to find him. He's worked so hard to get to this moment. And then he gets there and Pan's just like, yeah, you need to tell everyone I'm dead. And I'm just like, what? But Grover, he's gonna spread the word. And now he's gonna be the Lord of the Wild. And I'm just so happy for him. I honestly think that's all the good stuff that happens in this book. So now let's start talking about the bad stuff, which there's a lot. So when they enter the labyrinth first and they run into the Sphinx, and Annabeth is like, okay, I'm a daughter of Athena, I'm a genius, let me do this. And the Sphinx starts asking all these questions instead of riddles, and Annabeth is just like, okay, but why aren't you asking me riddles, blah, blah, blah. I literally wanted to slap her in that moment. And that was like the first true moment, I guess, of seeing Annabeth's fatal flaw played, because, you know, her fatal flaw is pride. And that was showing real well at that moment. And I was literally Percy just being like, okay, just answer the questions though, because you know the answers. You know, I love my homegirl Annabeth a lot. She's fantastic. And I also feel really bad for her because she had to go on a whole journey with Rachel, and that just sucked. And plus the whole Luke situation, I feel so bad for my girl. But in that moment, I was hardcore hating on her. I was like, Annabeth, what the heck are you doing? Another terrible thing to happen in this book was when they got to the arena and Luke was there with all his monsters, and Percy had to fight that giant who was also a son of Poseidon, and that guy was all like, oh yeah, I'm Poseidon's favorite son. And I was like, excuse me? But it was so sweet at the end when Poseidon goes to Percy's birthday party. Oh, this is also another good thing. Poseidon goes to his birthday party and they talk about that moment, and Poseidon's just like, you're my favorite son, Percy. And I was so happy for him. But back to the labyrinth. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I haven't even talked about this guy yet. Quintus, aka Daedalus. Oh my gosh. At first, I really didn't know how to feel about him. I was like, okay, I know this guy is Daedalus though. But at the same time, I was like questioning it though, because Quintus, you know, was looking around and kind of acting all spyish, and I didn't know how to feel about him. And then Percy was having all those dreams about Daedalus and how he saw his son die, and then he basically murdered his nephew by not trying to save him. That was sad and scary, and I was like, Daedalus, you're a terrible person. But I still don't know how to feel about him. Like, I'm grateful for him because he did help us out, but at the same time, I'm just like, okay, but he got his nephew killed though. But then, when Annabeth asked for the string so they could get through the labyrinth, he was like, haha, yeah, you should have gotten here earlier because I gave it to Luke. And I was like, okay, so maybe I actually do hate you. But then he decided to die because he's cheated death for so long, and he decided it was time to go, and he gave his computer to Annabeth. But then Nico took his life away, and, well, didn't take his life away. Well, you know what Nico did. He used his magic, whatever, and now he's building stuff in the underworld, and he gets to see his family. So I guess he kind of got a good ending. I don't know. I still don't know how to feel about him. Like, I'm grateful for him, but at the same time, I'm kind of just like, you can go choke, though. Yo, speaking of Nico, wow, I don't know how to feel about this guy either, because Percy was having all those dreams of Nico getting help from the ghost Minos. Minos? Is that how you say the name? I don't know. And I was like, Nico, you're doing the wrong thing. This is bad. But then they brought up Bianca's ghost. Oh my gosh, what even was that? So Nico was trying to do the thing, a soul for a soul, because he wanted to bring Bianca back. And so they all saw Bianca's ghost when they were in Texas, and Bianca explained the truth. It was like, don't blame it on Percy, like I sacrificed myself, blah blah blah. And it was just so sad and heartbreaking to read that moment because Nico is blaming Percy on everything that's happened this whole entire time, and just hearing the honest truth from his sister, like he doesn't want to accept it, but I'm really glad that he did accept it at the end though. Oh my goodness, speaking of Texas, I actually really liked reading those chapters for some reason. I don't know why, I just thought it was really fun how Percy cleaned the horse stables just with a tiny little seashell. I don't know, I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. And how Garon died, that was great, because you know, once Garon, however you say his name, showed up, when he showed up, I was like, okay, this boy can go choke though. And then Percy used the bow and arrow and shot straight through him, and it was great. But then it was later revealed by Hera that he only made that shot because of her, and I was like, oh! I forgot that Hera played an important part in this book. Well, not important, but she played a part and showed up. And when she showed up, I was like, not today, Satan. I hate you. I'm not the biggest fan of Hera, however the heck you say her name. I don't like the woman, alright? And when she showed up at the end, okay, first off, I was still mad when she showed up at the end because she interrupted a Percivas moment, and I was like, okay, but you can go choke, you're not important. And how she was like, oh yeah, I did all this stuff for you, blah blah blah, thank you for protecting my perfect family. I was like, girl, you can go choke, like nobody likes you. I really hated her for ruining that Percivas moment because Percy was gonna confront Annabeth about everything and talk about his feelings, and I was ready for it. I wanted them to have a talk because everything had been weird between the two, but no, she had to go ruin it. And then once she left, Annabeth was like, bye Percy, see you later, and then left and didn't look back, and I was like, I just feel so bad for my girl Annabeth because she likes Percy, but then Rachel had to come in and ruin everything, and now, especially now after Luke, because he is officially Kronos. Y'all, when Percy found the coffin and walked up to it and looked down and there was Luke, oh my gosh, I was so shook. Like, I knew it was gonna happen at one point because, you know, I've read The Last Olympian, like, I knew it was gonna happen, but still, I was so shook by it. You know, I feel bad for my boy Percy, like, 24/7, and in that moment, when Luke / Kronos rose and started talking, and his eyes were golden, Percy felt like he couldn't move, oh, I was so scared for him. I really was so scared. At least we got one last good thing at the very end of the book at Percy's 15th birthday party, when Percy and Paul are talking, and Paul asks Percy if Paul can ask his mom to marry him, and I was so happy because I love Paul. I haven't even talked about him yet. I love Paul so much. He is such a great guy, and I really love Paul and Sally together because they're so happy together, and I love them, and I just really appreciated that moment, and it was so happy. But then at the very last second, Nico showed up, and I was like, what you doing here? But it was kind of funny though when Nico saw the blue cake, and it was like, is that birthday cake? I don't know, it was funny. I can't believe I only have one PGO book left to reread. Like, I only have The Last Olympian. This is scary. I don't want to read it. I don't want to leave this universe. I'm seriously considering now rereading Heroes of Olympus because I just don't want to leave the PJO universe. But that, my friends, were my thoughts and feels on the Battle of the Labyrinth by Riordan. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I don't know what type of accent I'm trying to do right now. Just thank you all so much for watching this video. And I'm Courtney. I'll see you all next time with a new video up soon. So I will see you then. So, bye!